Conditions affecting the chemical reaction. Page number 63. Listen carefully. For a chemical reaction to take place, some conditions should be necessary as discussed below. 1. Reactant should be in close contact. That is the first point. Means that if it is in a solution form, the reaction takes place very fast. For a chemical reaction to occur, the reactant should be in close contact. For example, sodium metal violently with cold water when they are in close contact with each other. Sodium hydroxide and hydrogen are formed with a hissing sound. That means sodium is a metal. When sodium is dropped in water, it will run around inside the water making a hissing noise. This reaction can be represented as follows. This is a word equation. We already wrote a balanced equation for this. Sodium plus water gives sodium hydroxide and hydrogen. Please see how you wrote the equation in the balanced form. 2. Physical states. Chemical reaction take place more easily when the reactants are in solution form. That means any chemical reaction is very fast if it is in the solution form. That is why we use hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, nitric acid, and all with these acids they are making a solution in water. For example, aqueous solution of barium chloride. Barium chloride is a solid substance. It should be dissolved in water in order to get the reaction very fast. Reacts with an aqueous solution of sodium sulfate. Sodium sulfate is also a solid to form a white precipitate. We are going to learn about this matter later. In the soluble, that is a appearance of an insoluble substance, that is called a white precipitate. It can be of any color. Insoluble substance of barium sulfate and an aqueous solution of sodium chloride. All the chemical formula that you have to first find out. We already wrote this equation also. That is magnesium chloride. You have to find magnesium chloride plus sodium sulfate gives barium sulfate. This is the precipitate. When you write the equation, you have to write here white precipitate and sodium chloride. This equation also we wrote. Please see the balanced equation that you wrote. In solution form, the molecules of reactants are more mobile. This is the reason. They can move apart and hence they can come in contact with each other easily. You learned the give reason question also. 3. Temperature. Some chemical reactions do not take place at room temperature. The reactants have to be heated to a certain temperature to start the reaction. For example, magnesium does not react with cold water. Make a note about it. If you simply write magnesium plus water, no reaction will take place. It reacts with hot water and produces magnesium hydroxide and hydrogen. Therefore, when anything is mentioned like this hot water, you should write the formula of water and below that you write hot. Otherwise, no marks will be given for that equation. This is also a word equation and we are going to write the equation of this also. Magnesium plus water, that is hot water, gives magnesium hydroxide and hydrogen. Next is presence of light. Certain chemical reactions can occur only in the presence of light. For example, silver chloride breaks down in the form of in presence of sunlight to give silver and chlorine. This is the word equation. Silver chloride only one reactant. Therefore, no need to put any plus sign. and above the arrow mention the condition. That is why conditions affecting chemical reaction. Any condition mentioned, please write it above the arrow or along with the chemical formula. For example, all the solution means in water called aqueous. That and all I'll explain once again. In presence of sunlight gives silver and chlorine. Presence of catalyst. A catalyst is a substance that changes the rate of chemical reaction without itself undergoing any change. A definition of catalyst you have to learn. For example, in the preparation of ammonia gas from nitrogen and hydrogen, iron is used as a catalyst. Nitrogen plus hydrogen gives, in presence of catalyst, if in the chemical reaction any condition like temperature, pressure, catalyst are mentioned, you should write it above the arrow and gives ammonia. This you have to write the balanced equation. These are all word equation. About 6 equations are given. You have to know how to write balanced equations of all these 6 chemical reactions. Now last one, electricity. Some chemical reactions takes place in presence of electricity. For example, on passing electricity through water, that means a water should be acidified. It is not mentioned in this chemical reaction, but when you learn, you write acidified, then only it is becoming perfectly correct. Because pure water cannot conduct electricity. Not only that, there is a mistake. It is not sunlight, it is electricity. Cut it off this sunlight and write electricity. And in the presence of electricity, on passing it, that is, it breaks down into its constituent elements, hydrogen and oxygen. This equation is only one reactant, acidified water. That means little bit of acid should be added. Acidified water, when it is electrolyzed, it gives hydrogen and oxygen. These are the main condition and 6 balanced equation. You should be thorough in order to understand this portion.